Downer is very proud to bring this podcast series to you. At Downer, our purpose is to provide the vital services that connect communities and enable them to thrive. We do this by assembling the best minds, harnessing the power of technology and our enduring relationships to deliver sustainable outcomes for all.
My name is Jo Taranto and I'm joined today by Neil Gordon, Segment Lead for Water at Schneider Electric. Thanks for joining me, Neil.
Thanks, Jo. Nice to meet you. Good to be here.
Tell me about your role at Schneider Electric.
So my role at Schneider Electric is to represent the water segment and really, I guess, align the solutions of what we do globally with the local market and vice versa. Also take the learnings and feedback from the local market and feed it back into our global team. Historically, Australia's been seen as quite a leader in water in Australia. So a lot of the solutions that we've developed here locally, we've taken global and are used in other countries. So for me personally, my background's quite diverse. Worked across water, also a little bit in mining as well. So yeah, I've been at Schneider 5 years, had various roles, but moved into the water role late last year.
So how does Schneider work with the water industry?
Yeah, so one of our key pillars is around sustainability. So we're very strong on sustainability. And that's obviously a key driver in the water segment also. So really, we try to help accelerate and drive that sustainability message within the water sector. For us, really, we see the whole change with decarbonisation happening in the industry. A lot of our customers have net zero targets that they need to meet. So it's really about helping those customers get to those ambitions and really try to provide the technology to help them to get to their end goals.
And you have a lot of different solutions to do that. What
Yes.
are the big challenges for the water industry when it comes to decarbonisation, for example?
I think there's a lot of noise around decarbonisation. I think it's hard. Some of the ambitions are quite ambitious. I think especially around water treatment, it's quite difficult. It will be quite difficult to get there. I think from the water segment approach, probably the biggest challenge I see is being able to move fast enough. I think the technology's there. I would say one of the challenges we have is around people resources in the country. We're seeing that quite a lot, and that's across from top to bottom. And I think it's just the kind of a delay in the rollout of technology, I'd say.
You've mentioned the drivers being the targets. What other drivers are there for the water industry?
I think the circular economy also is a big factor, just around resilience. That whole circular economy. When we talk about water, it's about reducing water loss, water utilities, because it's one of their main aims is to reduce water loss through pipe breakages and different things. Also around more efficient use of water in technologies, in treatment technologies and things like that. That's probably one of the other key challenges we see in key drivers, that circular economy. Also when we look at water treatment plants producing biosolids as an out product, then reusing that for fertilisers in different market segments like growing food and beverage and things like that. So it's that kind of whole circular wheel, if you like.
How important is it to have collaboration when you're talking about solutions?
Oh, it's very important. And I think not only collaboration within the water sector, but also with other sectors as well. Essentially what we see at Schneider, the technology is the same, really. Across different segments, might be different applications and different processes. But essentially the learnings that you can take from other industries, you can also apply to the water industry and vice versa. So we're starting to see this co-collaboration across segments now. And one of the things that I heard yesterday was around co-innovation across market segments. What we see, if we take probably hydrogen is a good example, there's a huge focus on green hydrogen production. Hydrogen, key important element for hydrogen is water. So you need water to produce hydrogen, you need water for cooling in the hydrogen process, you need water treatment, all those things. So we're seeing we're not just talking about water utilities, it's actually water across different market segments as well. So, and there's that opportunity to collaborate.
You're listening to the Australian Water Association podcast series, and I'm speaking with Neil Gordon from Schneider Electric. Do you get excited seeing your solutions out there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially some of the things we're doing around AI and machine learning. Part of my role, I'm a part of a global team, and some of the things they're doing overseas is pretty unbelievable. We've got an AI hub based in France, and they're doing some really cool stuff around, reducing chemical usages using AI, maintenance for reverse osmosis in desalination plants, using AI modelling. There's also a big project happening at the moment is around using AI for big data management. I think someone said the data tsunami is coming with everyone's capturing big data. It's about what we're doing at the moment is using AI to manage the big data because everyone talks about big data, but managing big data can become quite expensive. Just even to host in cloud is becoming expensive now. So everyone is pushing data to cloud. So it's around using AI to manage that big data and get some valuable insights out of that data.
It also uses quite a lot of electricity itself to manage the data, right?
And that's why the biggest growth is in data centers at the moment because the data centers have to hold all that data. So, and that's also there's water usages in data centers as well for cooling. So, yeah, it's all kind of related.
It absolutely is. And so I guess a lot of your solutions work across those sectors. Are there some examples where you really feel that the water industry has led the way?
Yeah, I think so. I can talk probably specifically around Schneider, definitely in the SCADA and automation side of the business. As I said earlier, in SCADA, specifically in water in Australia, we're kind of a pioneer just around a solution that was developed 15 years ago. It's pretty much used throughout the water industry. Probably 80% of water utilities have our SCADA solution. And that's also taken that technology and moved down to more the grid automation and power automation. Also a little bit in the mining sector as well. So, but across different sectors. So, but we are seeing that convergence, if you like, between the solutions that we've traditionally used in the water segment and what other segments are doing as well. Probably following on to that too, there's also some new technologies coming out just around the way we approach automation before, and really, typically in historically having automation sitting with traditional hardware, we're moving those processes into the software layer. So they sit more on a software layer. So we're moving from physical products doing processing to actually moving more into that software layer and having it hosted on like industrial PCs and things like that. That's going to be a game changer, I think, in the next 10 to 15 years.
What advice would you have for the water industry when it comes to technology, both new and emerging, and embracing that?
Yeah, I think, as I said earlier, be open to collaboration. Don't be scared to embrace new technologies. I think probably traditionally water segment has been a little bit risk adverse. Might be controversial saying that, but compared to what we see in other segments. But I think absolutely embrace the new technologies. Have a plan also. We see it in IoT where a lot of companies have got all these disparate IoT systems running, all feeding data, and it's not kind of put into a common platform. So also kind of have a plan as well around that. But yeah, don't be closed-minded, I think, would be my message. So, especially because the rate of technology is changing so fast. Even as Schneider, we can't keep up. We have to partner with different organisations, consulting companies, other technology companies that provide technologies that to work with ours. We have to collaborate ourselves. So our message is, because the rate of change is so fast, we can't do everything ourselves. And that would be my message, I guess, to the water segment as well. You cannot do it on your own. You have to collaborate.
Any advice for new graduates as well? I know you have a big graduate program. What does the future look like for young water professionals?
Yeah, for me personally, and I say this to our grads also, is to network as much as possible. Really try to work across your traditional network but also look at networks outside of the norm, what you would kind of normally see as your network. As I said earlier, we're seeing that divergence of segments as well. So what we do in water is also happening in mining. So for other, people with different, whatever they studied at uni, it's really come cross-pollinated now. So whether you're a chemical engineer, electrical engineer, it doesn't really matter because I guess when you network, you'll find that common ground across all the different segments and technologies. So, but yeah, definitely network. I think, as I mentioned earlier, collaboration's very key, very important. Because without those, it's really hard to generate innovation without that. So probably the third thing I would mention is to have fun as well. Have fun doing it, because in 10, 15 years, you'll look back on it and you'll actually realise when you do projects and do things, you think, okay, we actually did some really cool stuff, back in the day. So
That's a great way to think about it. I've been speaking with Neil Gordon, the segment lead for water at Schneider Electric. Thanks so much for your time, Neil.
Great, thanks, Joe. Thanks for the opportunity.